Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video, and actually I don't really know what to entitle it at this point, but it's about the music business. And it's good to be validated on your assumptions, you know, as far as you assuming this, you believe this, and then at some point in time there's confirmation that what you assumed was true. And I recently did a video about maybe 2 months ago about the Isley brothers, then and now. Because back then, you know, I appreciated their songwriting ability because as I'm tapping they stuff all these beautiful chords and changes and beat sections and everything. And now, you know, fast forward, you know, 20 years later, they're doing 3-chord songs. I'm like, what happened? You know, who was the driving force back then that wrote these beautiful, great songs? And the answer to that question is Chris Jasper and Ernie Isley. And mainly, more so Chris Jasper, because I seen an interview with him recently and it validates or confirmed, you know, my assumptions that he said that when he got into the group, he kind of took over the writing and the production. And, you know, he's a very intelligent guy. He has a degree from Juilliard School of Music. He has actually a law degree in music, you know, because they were getting ripped off, you know. So he's like, I need to know more about the legal process and the business aspect because I got the production and the physical playing down. So, you know, I watched the interview and I was pretty, you know, intrigued by, you know, the story. And I knew it all along because, again, when he left the group, he took the sound, or the sound followed him, because when he became a part of the younger Isley brothers, Jasper Isley, Caravel of Love, Insatiable Woman, he wrote all that stuff. He wrote, you know, Who's That Lady, and countless amount of, or actually the majority of the Isley Brothers stuff during that time he wrote. You know, so it's a rewarding feeling that when you have an assumption and you feel that you're right, and then you get confirmation that you're on the money. Because again, the comparison between the writing now and then is totally, you know, noticeable. That because, you know, the new Isleys, you know, they just basically kind of doing these 3-chord songs that kind of R. Kelly wrote in some of these new guys. And I'm not knocking the 3-chord songs, but there's no comparison to a beautiful written song and a 3-chord song. Because what a lot of people don't realize, and I try to break it down where it's logical, it makes sense to you whether you're in music or not. When you only working with a small amount of chords, the melody suffers. And what I mean by that is, this is a good example. If somebody were to walk up to you today and say, I got a list of 10 words, and these are the only 10 words you can use to express yourself, you wouldn't do a good job of expressing yourself. Versus somebody walked up to you with a big telephone book with thousands of words and say, go to town. That's the same thing, and it applies to music, that the more the chords, the more the melody can expand and breathe. Versus you rocking back and forth on the D-7 chord and the E-7 chord. The whole song is just these 2 chords rocking back and forth. You know, so it was really a very enlightening experience to just enjoy the Isley Brothers music during the 70s and the 80s, because those songs are just unbelievable. I mean, just to listen to them, you appreciate them, but to tab them and write them down, because unfortunately there was no song books, you know, penned on this group during that time. But when I sit down and I tab these songs like I just did Insatiable Woman, you know, the chord progression was just beautiful. You know, Voyage to Atlantis, which I think Ernie Isley wrote. You know, just some beautiful compositions. And I just want to mention this briefly. You know, it's unfortunate that the music business is a cutthroat business because, you know, here's an example. Teddy Riley recently took his daughter to court. You know, over some music-related stuff. It's a shame that money, unfortunately, kind of overrides family, because family, friends, and love should come first. You know, long before music, it should be these priorities. But, you know, when you get into the music business and people start throwing a lot of money at you, money becomes the first priority regardless of who's involved or who's in your circle. Because Chris Jasper mentioned in the interview that he gave, they asked him why did the Isley Brothers break up. And he said, long story short, there was some financial issues, and, you know, he had to bail. And then when he rejoined them later, he got a letter from their attorneys stating that his services were no longer available. Now, this is a cousin, you know, but yet You got to go through these legal processes and hire lawyers, because when you hire lawyers, you trying to sue people for a large sum of money, you know. So it's unfortunate in the music business. It's cutthroat. You know, you got to be careful who you deal with. You got to be careful what you sign. You got to be careful just your surroundings, because money changes people. They could be the sweetest people in the world until, you know, all this money come up and they become different people, you know. So unfortunately, it is what it is. But until next time, take care.